Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where we triple your impact per engineer. I'm Aviv Ben-Yosef, your host as always, and today we'll be talking about 80/20. Before I get to that, let me remind you that I'm holding a free live session called Profitable Engineering 101. It's taking place next week, so make sure to sign up. The link is in the show notes, and I'm waiting to see you there. Now, let's talk about the 80/20 principle. There's something that some people don't realize is that when we're talking about 10x engineers or talking about really senior people, it's not like witnessing magic. You're not very likely to see someone, who is one notch above the rest, literally working 10 times faster. It's not about typing really fast. They don't know any secret chance to make the computer code faster. It's not like they got GPT-10 in their pocket. What we're talking about is the fact that whatever they do is better, and they also have that edge. This is what the 80/20 principle is all about. The fact that most people who are good seem to agree about 80% of the work. And I recently talked to a CEO about different ways of doing something. And when I listed my suggestion, he said, this is essentially what we had in mind. And I agree. They had a solid plan. My plan, though, had that extra oomph, those 20% that would surely lead to faster sales, better impact of the engineering team on the bottom line, a more profitable team, and all with a handful of suggestions. And he didn't even have to take all of them. He just, whichever he chose to implement would just be clear gain. And this is what you need to keep in mind when you're considering your team, when you're looking at how things are formed, when you're making decisions about this person or that. Always consider what is their extra edge that they're bringing to the table. This is what seniority for me is about. It's not about the day-to-day. It's about providing those innovations, that creative way of looking at things, that connection to what we're trying to achieve so that their creativity, their ideas rotate around what's at the core of the business, not something that looks cool, but is actually worthwhile. So I took out 20% of their suggestions that were just cool, shiny tech and put in 20% of suggestions that were maybe not as sexy, but man, will they make a difference on the company? I'm giddy just thinking about that. When I wrote those suggestions and I thought about it, I thought to myself, now this would be something that I personally would be excited to work on because this has such a direct connection to impact. It's not just cool tech. It's not tech for tech's sake. It's a real difference. So consider the 80/20 principle. Your plans don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be the best in the world. They just have to bring that extra oomph. Have you got it? When's the last time that you personally added that little bit of seasoning that really made the dish shine? Who in your team are those 20% people who can really make a difference, who you can rely on to ensure that your company keeps working and growing faster, as opposed to going down the road to averageness, because life's too short to lead an average team, right? That's it for this week. If you want more concrete examples on how you can turn your team into a profitable engineering team, again, check out the free live session. It's next week. Don't lose out. The link is in the show notes, as well as a link to my newsletter and other stuff. So I'm waiting to see you there. Thank you. I'll be here next week.